Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This very special meeting. Roll call, please.
Ellsworth,
Here.
Liker.
Here.
Lopez Aguino,
Here.
Medina,
Here.
Quinones.
Here.
Thank you.
Principal Flores. Oh my goodness, I know you. There you are. I'd like to introduce her to introduce the three students who will be leading us in the pledge.
There we go. Good evening. Good evening, Superintendent Espinosa community. It's an honor to have some of our youngest scholars start us off this evening. So I would love to invite Roman up to the podium, Miss Eva and Mr. Mateo up to the podium. Over here, over here.
Hang on there, Roman. Are you? I'm guessing. Thanks.
Our families are standing proud. Will the Pola family, the Torres family, and the Machado family please rise? Let's give them a round of applause and recognize them this evening for supporting our students. And we will be taking some pictures by our central bulletin board. Thank you.
I think there's going to be a lot of joy and picture taken tonight, huh? While they're taking their pictures, I'd like to welcome all of the families, siblings, aunts, uncles, neighbors who have come to honor they're from 6th and 8th grade, correct? 6th grade and 8th grade distinguished scholars. Okay. There's a line back there. It's like. Okay, I will ask Director Tom Balakwe up here to introduce the fine scholars. Thank you for waiting, Tom.
You're welcome. Good evening, President Ellsworth, Superintendent Espinosa, trustees, executive team, colleagues, families, community members, and most importantly, our distinguished scholars. It is with great pleasure that we recognize our outstanding 6th grade student, one outstanding 6th grade student from each school, and one outstanding 8th grade student from each of our charter schools. These students were selected by their teachers across the district based on the criteria of citizenship, scholarship, service to others, and a positive attitude towards learning. I would now like to call Miss Barbara Elliott Sanders and Miss Virginia Syverson from the Imperial Beach Optimist Club to say a few words to our distinguished scholars.
About 20 years ago, Miss Barbara Elliott Sanders was a teacher, and I believe at that time she was at Sunny Slope can share. And we've been members of Optimist for quite a long time. And she said, I want to do something with the scholars in the elementary school because sometimes kids don't get honored until high school. And so we got together and contacted the district. She knew about this program. At one point, she was on the board. So she has played many, many roles in the district. And she's right there. She's a wonderful lady. Wow. I think she said 41 years. 30. Okay, whatever. It's just such a thrill to be here. And I did all these certificates with names, and now I'm so excited to see the students and get to see who they are. I want to tell you just a little story. We also do an essay contest. Are you listening out there, students? And we do, if we get enough students, an oratorical contest, and we do a scholarship if you go to Mar Vista High. Well, I was able to visit Southwest High because we had a winner of the essay contest there. And I met this young lady, and it was also interesting because the principal there is my former student. I taught at Southwest High for a long time. But anyway, that girl said, oh, I know the Optimist Club. I won an award in 6th grade. And then she won our essay contest. So I want to tell you, this is just the beginning of great things for these students. And I also want to congratulate the parents. It's not easy being a parent. I've done that. I'm also a grandparent and raised a grandchild, and it's just not easy. So hang in there, parents. They're almost teenagers. It's not that bad. I found my teenagers to be lovely, but just hang in there and maybe don't get too riled up. Just kind of calm down, and hopefully they'll be calm too. But you've done a wonderful job so far. And I told you the story about the essay winner because I want you to know this is just the beginning of many accomplishments. So congratulations from the Imperial Beach Optimist Club. We're thrilled to present you with a little gift tonight. And I'm just going to tell you what it is. It's a journal, and the journal has got blank pages in it, so you can draw pictures, you can paste things in it, you can write in it. Of course, we teachers want you to write wonderful stories, but you don't have to. This is for you. So we really encourage you and congratulate you. It's just a pleasure to see you all. Thank you.
And again, thank you to the Imperial Beach Optimist Club for their generous gift bags, which will be given to each distinguished scholar. The students we are recognizing tonight are models for hard work and perseverance, qualities which are required for success. As Walt Disney said, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them, and our distinguished scholars represent that quality today. I would like to congratulate all of our distinguished scholars on their success and know that you have set the foundation to where all of your dreams will come true. To get us started, I would like to call up Principal Court from Bayside Elementary.
Good evening. Bayside STEAM Academy is pleased to announce Melanie Zazueta as our Distinguished Scholar for 2023. Melanie is kind, funny, intelligent, and very hardworking. She is a student that excels both academically and in citizenship. I've had the privilege of working with Melanie this past year and have seen her grow academically as she continues to surprise me with her level of understanding and how she applies her learning to solving real-world problems. She is a shy student, but willing to lead a group, volunteer and answer, stand up for herself, and stand up for her friends. She's always on task and completes her assignments, but she also loves to laugh and have fun too. Melanie has stood out among this year's 6th graders at Bayside STEAM Academy, and we are very proud of her work, and we look forward to learning about her future achievements. Thank you, Melanie, for being an outstanding example to others, and thank you to her parents for your guidance and support you have given her. At this point, if you guys could stand and we give you a round of applause as well. At this point, I'd like to invite Aaron Major from Berry Elementary to the podium.
All right, good evening. I would like to present Miss Suzanne Bride. She is outstanding in every way. She is motivated and diligent in her work, and her growth mindset is unwavering. She is unafraid to try new things or attack a challenging task. Susie communicates effectively with both adults and her peers who look to her as a positive example and seek her out as a partner and teammate because of her kind, compassionate, patient, and supportive nature. She earned reclassification on her 2022 LPEC test, as well as strong scores on all of her assignments this year. Suzanne amazes all of her teachers, and we are very proud of her. And I would like to invite up Principal Paola Flores.
Good evening, and I would like to introduce the Professor Jose Guzman.
Good evening. Trevor is Central's distinguished scholar for various reasons. Foremost, I can confidently say that Trevor is the most well-rounded student I have ever had the privilege of teaching in 18 years. Trevor is one of the most intelligent students I have ever met. He has an amazing memory and a keen ability to recall data and information. Trevor takes the time to learn what he needs to know so that he can apply it later down the road. He's easygoing, yet takes his studies seriously. He doesn't let anything get in the way of his goals. Congratulations, Trevor, on this well-deserved honor.
At this point in time, I also want to ask Ms. Earhart to please stand. I want to give her a round of applause to her and her family. They serve our country, so thank you for your support. And I would like to call up Principal Nelson from Emory Global Academy.
I would like to introduce our sixth grade teacher, Shelly Molina. It is my honor to introduce Khalil Peel as our distinguished scholar at Emory. Round of applause, please. He deserves it. Speak softly, but carry a big stick. Roosevelt's famous words are an ideal way to describe Khalil. He's one of the most soft-spoken and gentle students that I've ever had in my 30 years. But he has such a strong, powerful character. He is a strong leader, and he will push forward to do what is best for himself and for our school. This year, Khalil has served as our United Nations president. Within that role, Khalil runs meetings with students and even teachers sometimes. He plans events. He makes weekly PA announcement, is on hand to welcome special guests visiting our campus, and much, much more. He is responsible, friendly, and kind to all of his peers. On top of all this, Khalil maintains outstanding grades and exceeds on all state testing in both mathematics and ELA. Khalil is a well-rounded individual, and we at Emory are honored to call him our distinguished scholar. Congratulations. If I may have his family, please stand. Round of applause and thank you for all your support. I'd now like to introduce Principal Vargas.
Good evening. If I can have Tegan as well, walk up, please. Tegan is an excellent student, and she is my recommendation for Distinguished Scholar for the 2022-2023 school year. Tegan comes to school every morning with a positive attitude, ready to learn. She is bright, intelligent, and a quick learner. Tegan's academic performance is in a class of its own. She is a stellar reader, writer, and mathematician. Even when she has already done an outstanding job, she pushes herself to improve her work even further. She has her eye on the future, and I fully believe that she will achieve anything she puts her mind to. And she has a wonderful and kind heart. Please, a round of applause for Tegan Valeri. And to her parents, who helped to raise such a kind-hearted and thoughtful person. Again, a round of applause. And now Miss Anna Becker for our 8th grader.
It is my pleasure to announce that this year's Distinguished Scholar Award goes to Rakiba Williams. Rakiba exhibited outstanding attention to detail and participated in all coursework. Speaking as her math teacher, she did a spectacular job on her Slopeman Math Art Project for Integrated Math, which is a high school course. She demonstrated her creativity and artistic expression. While doing these projects, she incorporated the math vocabulary, formulas, and graphs from her class discussions and lectures, culminating in a beautiful work of art. As for the middle school team, Rakiba was our unanimous choice, successful in academics and well-rounded through her team contributions in cheer, soccer, and basketball. And today is her mother's birthday. What a gift. Stand up, Mrs. Williams.
Now I'd like to call up Principal Cordovan from Mendoza.
Good evening. I'm honored to introduce Ana Aguilar, the Mendoza School's Distinguished Scholar. Before you applaud, she did not know this was a big surprise for her tonight. So surprise! To share some wonderful words about Ana, I brought our 6th grade teacher at Mendoza, Jose Chavira, her teacher.
Thank you very much. Ana has earned the recognition of Distinguished Scholar because of her hard work, academic performance, perseverance, and social contributions she has made to our class during this academic year. She interacts with classmates and staff members with gentleness and kindness. She shows a caring attitude to those around her and is encouraging to her classmates. In addition, she has a great sense of humor. Ana is a very responsible student as she has an excellent record of completing assignments. She shows a commitment to her education and is an exemplary model of what it means to be a committed learner. Ana is quick to learn new skills and concepts. According to multiple assessment measures, Ana is working above grade level in all academic subjects. Ana is a strong reader, mathematician, scientist, engineer, and historian. Despite the challenging math curriculum, Ana doesn't give up and utilizes a variety of strategies when tackling complex math problems. She participates in class discussions and offers keen insights when analyzing reading texts. For these reasons, I am pleased to announce Ana as Mendoza's Distinguished Scholar.
One more notable quality for Anna is she has not missed one single day of school. Perfect attendance. So parents, thank you. Please stand so we can give you a nice round of applause. Thank you very much. Next up, if we could have Principal Gonzalez from Nestor Language Academy.
Good evening. I first like to welcome sixth grade teacher Margarita Salinas to introduce our distinguished scholar.
Thank you. Good evening. I have been Clarissa Sandoval, sixth grade teacher at Nestor Language Academy for the past 9 months. And ever since, it was evident that she is an exceptionally distinguished scholar. Her calm and dedicated personality has allowed her to be fully successful in all the subject areas that we teach in sixth grade. In addition, Clarissa has proven to herself that she is 100% bilingual. One of the things that I admire most about you, Clarissa, is that whenever you might feel embarrassed or shy to participate in our class, you amaze us with your persistence, your dedication, and outstanding charisma. Thank you. I would like to thank her parents for supporting Clarissa, and I would like also to introduce Ms. Uribe and former student Zoe Garcia.
Good evening. It is truly a great honor to introduce to you Zoe Garcia Manzano as Nestor Language Academy's distinguished eighth grade scholar. When we met to choose a student to represent us for this honor, we immediately thought of Zoe because of her maturity, her intrinsic motivation to always do her best. When asked what motivates her, she said it's knowing how she'll feel when she achieves a goal, knowing that she's capable of accomplishing what she sets her mind to and making her family proud. A Zoe también la motivan héroes a quien busca emular, como su mamá, cuya perseverancia y determinación en proveer para sus dos hijas le ha enseñado a ser independiente y muy valiente. Zoe is a straight-A student, a member of our school's ASB. She plays on the volleyball team and is a chess club member. She's not sure what her future career will be, but she does know it'll be in a field where she helps others because she likes to make a difference. Congratulations, Zoe.
I'd now like to call up Principal Medina from Nikolov Elementary.
Good evening, and I would like to introduce our wonderful sixth grade teacher, Ms. Clara Manet.
Good evening. Nikolov Elementary is proud to announce our distinguished scholar, Crystal Ruiz. Crystal is a natural leader who is bilingual and excels in all academic areas. Her peers look up to her as a role model because of her positive attitude, work ethic, and willingness to tutor them in reading, writing, and math. Her tenacity to exceed expectations has helped her to achieve her goals. For example, completing the ST Math program by mid-school year, reading above grade level, and being reclassified as proficient in English. We are so proud, we are so proud of Crystal and know that she will continue to have success in her future endeavors. Congratulations. And I would also like to thank her parents for raising such a wonderful child. Can you please stand? And now I'd like to pass it over to Principal Solis from Oneonta.
Good evening, Superintendent Espinosa, President Ellsworth, trustees, executive team, and South Bay families. It is an honor to introduce Kevin Rasmussen, our sixth grade teacher, who will be introducing our distinguished scholar.
Greetings, distinguished guests, colleagues, and families. Today, I am here to introduce Cyril Garcia, Oneonta's Distinguished Scholar. Cyril possesses a unique combination of intelligence, creativity, and dedication that sets her apart from her peers. Cyril's academic achievements are impressive, but what truly stands out is her ability to inspire others. Whether it's through her leadership during class discussions or her willingness to help classmates with difficult assignments, Cyril consistently demonstrates a commitment to excellence and a passion for learning. It's clear that she has the potential to make a significant impact on the world, and that is why we chose to recognize and honor Cyril as Oneonta's Distinguished Scholar.
I'd now like to recognize Howard Pence Principal, Miss Maria Preciado.
Good evening, everybody. I have the honor of introducing to you Ms. Flores, our sixth grade teacher, who will be giving you some information, our wonderful student who I'm blessed to see on a daily basis on our campus.
Thank you. I have to lower this because I am shorter than our last teacher. It is my honor to congratulate Erin Salas Rodriguez, who is Howard Pence's sixth grade Distinguished Scholar this year. Which was, of course, no surprise to the rest of the sixth grade students. When he found out he was a distinguished scholar, he had mentioned to me that he didn't want people thinking that he was just this smart kid. And so that modesty, thinking about that, he said, you know, I like to learn. He says, I focus, I pay attention, and that leads me to a better me. And so just to think of that is one of the reasons why he's up here today. As I think about him as a teacher, I see him as an individual who is goal-oriented, a team player, and has a maturity about himself that screams distinguished scholar as well as future college student. Mom and dad, he says he wants to go to Harvard, so start saving up now. And he will make it. In addition, he's just a 12-year-old kid who still loves to hang out with his friends and play video games, and he boxes. So I love that he has this no excuses attitude, which will serve him well when he finds his way in college. I would love to thank his parents, Erica and Louise, along with his siblings, Ramses and Kaylani, who are also Penn's Penguins, because without their support, they absolutely contributed to his success and will be there for him in the future as well. So thank you.
I'd now like to recognize Sunny Slope Principal, Mrs. Stella Corrales.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to introduce my wonderful sixth grade teacher, Michelle Portilla, who will be introducing Sunny Slope's Distinguished Scholar.
Good evening. It is a pleasure to be here to introduce our Sunny Slope's Distinguished Scholar. Edgar is distinguished because of his commitment, intellectual skills, and achievement he has possessed throughout his enrollment at Sunny Slope since kindergarten. He is a student who puts forth effort and pride in all his work. Edgar is a member of our school safety patrol. He has excelled in all academic areas throughout the years, consistently works above grade level till this day, and is biliterate in English and Spanish.
Edgar is well liked and respected by all his peers, and this is because he is respectful and most of all, humble. He is also a well-rounded athlete who can play multiple sports. This amazing student would like to attend an Ivy League school and pursue a career in engineering. This is not surprising because he has the intelligence and determination to achieve this. And if you can please help me congratulate the parents that are here with us tonight. Thank you.
And now I'd like to recognize the principal of the Virtual Academy, Miss Michelle Syverson.
Good evening. This message is from her teacher, Miss Gonzalez. Abby is an amazing person. She has wonderful ideas and views about topics we discuss in class, ranging from current events to class curriculum. As a virtual student, Abby is very involved in the school community by participating in student council as well as the video club. Attention to detail is strength that Abby depicts when doing work. Some words that best describe Abby: well-versed in curricular areas, inclusive and welcoming when working with others. She is genuinely kind to others. If you are fortunate enough to work with Abby or be around Abby, you leave feeling delighted with the interaction. As your principal, Abby embodies the random acts of kindness philosophy. She is an excellent scholar, and I appreciate her student leadership. She represents the Virtual Academy and makes us all proud. Thank you. Totally got excited. I'd like to welcome Mom, Dad, and we're watching virtually as well. So.
So I would like to thank the Student Support and Accountability staff this evening for setting up this event. And a huge thank you to the parents, guardian, guests that came this evening, for the teachers who've recognized the students, for site administrators, parents, and most importantly, our distinguished scholars. If we could have our distinguished scholars please stand up and give a huge round of applause. Thank you. Distinguished scholars, one more time, we're going to stand up again, but before we do that, a couple of things. We're going to bring everybody up front, all of the recognized students who are going to get their picture taken with the board. And also we have balloons that we will find a way to cut them off of those chairs so you can take them with you on your way home to our distinguished scholars. So distinguished scholars, please stand up, come up front. We'll get a picture taken.
All right, thank you so much. I just wanted to take a quick minute to thank and congratulate all our distinguished scholars. And I want to encourage them to keep working hard, stay focused, have a lot of fun, and keep working. Thank you. And congratulations, parents.
I am now going to call about a 5-minute intermission and invite you all to stay for the rest of our meeting. However, that's not necessary. You can go ahead and take your families and enjoy celebrating your scholars. I'm going to call this meeting back to order. And here come the rest of the board members. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did it already. Again. I would like to recognize Central School's principal, Ms. Flores.
Let's try this again. There we go. Good evening, President Ellsworth, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Espinosa, Executive Team, and Community. Thank you for staying to hear all about Central. This evening, we have a group of Central leaders who are here to tell you a bit about what they've been up to at Central.
Good evening, trustees, superintendent Espinosa, and community. My name is Vania, and I am a Central leader. My peers and I are here as representatives of our student body.
Hello, my name is Malia, and this is Julius. At Central School, student voice and agency matters. And today we are here to share with you one way in which we have been given agency.
We are excited to present to SPUSD and our community the first ever school pledge that was crafted by students for students with the guidance of our school leaders. We take pride in our pledge, which makes it unique and meaningful to us.
I am amazing, smart, and creative. I use my words to show kindness and my hands to help. I feel the freedom to be myself just as I am, and I value differences in others. I am motivated to learn and committed to excellence. My teachers can rely on me to be responsible, respectful, and trustworthy. I make a positive difference in the world, and I am grateful knowing that Central School is a better place because I am here. Thank you for your time, and I would like to invite Principal Flores back to the podium.
I mean, how do I follow that? Can we please join me in giving them another round of applause, as it takes amazing courage to stand up here and lead our pledge and share that with you. And by the way, I got to say that what they said, they worked on themselves. Okay, so we were here working together. I'm just so very proud of them. At this point in time, I would like to recognize the Ibarria family, please rise. And then the Smith family, please rise. And also the Cabriales family who's here present tonight. And give them a round of applause for supporting our students and being an amazing partnership to our school. Thank you. Holy moly. And that's really why we do what we do for moments like that. And I have to follow after them. No pressure, guys. Thank you. All right. It is my hope this evening that through this presentation, I can capture the essence of what it means to live, learn, and play at Central Elementary. This journey begins with the makeup of our student body. These metrics are a global perspective which quantify us. But what's most important are the names, the faces, and the stories that exist in our school and our community. Central is made up of families, of guardians, of team players, and givers who are dedicated to each and every student at our school. And because students are our #1 priority, it was necessary at the beginning of the school year for Central leaders to come together and assess our improvement journey and commit to committing. Part of our commitment was to realize that we had to leave the past in the past in order to move forward to a better future. And that meant that in order to do that, we had to tackle some hard stuff and engage in difficult conversations, because the fact of, and in addition to that, just being reflective, vulnerable, cognizant, aware, because we know that our students are not, they still need further support in reading. We know that our students still need further support in mathematics. But we couldn't just stay there. We came together, we reassessed, and we capitalized on the strengths of our school. And that was the phenomenal progress that our multilingual learners have demonstrated. And we took that and we used it as a force to propel us forward. And that started with our equity journey. We've been on an ever-evolving equity journey where our team is consistently engaging and reflecting and fine-tuning our practices to better serve our students. One manifestation of this work has been our work around student voice and agency, which you saw in full effect this evening. Our interactions with our students have been intentional. They have been meaningful in order to tune into what students are telling us they need from their teachers, from their learning space, and from their school. But it was important to go even a step further than that. We need to make sure and are making sure that these systems are a part of the culture that are entrenched in the way that we serve our families every day. Listening to students has not only created spaces for our scholars to engage and interact and communicate with adults, it has also promoted avenues for them to develop their agency. Our students continue to lead in large spaces. They communicate with their peers. They share the joy, and they've taken ownership of their learning. Our scholars also have participated in equity walks where they get to see, they have the opportunity to see what learning looks like in the classrooms all over our campus. In fact, one of our scholar leaders this evening, I asked the scholars who participated in this equity walk, I asked them, what value do you see in student voice and agency here at Central? Which our scholar leader, Julius, said, and I quote, "I believe this could change school because it could be an opportunity for kids to show that kids can do amazing things." And that's what we're here. That's what it's all about. Our work hasn't been done by chance. Our work has been due to design, due to our all-in mindset. Our socially conscious leaders have sought to analyze their mindsets and help create equity-centered systems which allow them to teach in different ways that benefit our students. Another one of our goals this year has been to prioritize human connection. Brene Brown says, connection is the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, valued, and heard. And this drove us to re-examine the ways we received, welcomed, connected, and emphasized the importance of attendance for our families and our students. Our team needed to stretch ourselves to rethink in creative ways the way we serve our families. Our psychologists, behavior interventionists, and counselors also thought of creative ways to support our learners in providing social emotional supports through lessons focused on self-awareness, self-control, empathy, and interpersonal skills that are vital for their life. And finally, we also had to commit to excellence. And we can't talk about excellence without talking about the excellence of our students' first teachers, their families, their guardians. Our Central families have embraced their leadership and have partnered with us using their dynamics to help push and support our scholars' educational journey. Along with this work, our team committed to consistent, rigorous, small group structures and routines with the knowledge and understanding that these are evidence-based practices that will allow our teacher leaders to respond in real time to the needs, questions, and misconceptions, and also successes of our students. Everything that we've done at Central to this point has been authentic work from the heart. I am incredibly proud of every single thing that we've accomplished. I am proud of every single adult on our campus. I am proud of 398 students that show up to our school and all of our community. But at the end of the day, what makes Central unique and special are its people. See, the idea is simple. At Central, we have people helping people serve and strive for greatness. And that shows up through the support of leadership from our staff. That shows up through an encouraging word in the hallways. That shows up through students sharing their genius and their kindness throughout all of our campus. That shows up through a smile that can change someone's day. And although we have a lot of work to do, we do it proudly, we do it with commitment, and we do it with being one team in one boat when one row. Thank you. Questions?
Comments are good too. Please.
Your energy is infectious in the most positive way. Thank you. I can feel how you bring everybody together, and your staff and your students, they're a part of it all, every step of the way. It's not just one person, it's everybody. It's a team, like you said, one boat, one row, and I love it. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for your presentation and your energy. Thank you very much.
What can I say? Two trustees already have spoken about your energy. The energy in this room when you come and speak to us it fills the room. It fills my heart. I'm really impressed with your presentation today because I do know the struggles there at Central, and I do know how hard your staff and yourself are working to bring resources and you acknowledge the resources the district provides for your staff. That's awesome that you're pulling in everything you can for those kiddos because they need you. I'm really impressed with the student walkthroughs. That's the first I've heard about the walkthroughs because we often hear about teachers doing walkthroughs or or concerns from parents that say we don't have parades anymore in the classroom. Well, this kind of like takes the parade in a different direction in that I see students with clipboards writing notes, and I suspect they go back and they analyze their notes with their teachers to say, can we do this or, what's happening there? So I applaud you in that respect. That's a new one for me. And thank you so much for coming and thank you for your staff and the work you do for students. Thank you.
Thank you.
I also agree with the equity walks. It's also something new for me. I think it's really important for students to see how other students are learning. That's kind of like an isolation in your classroom and it's more than that. So this is really an awesome idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
And
Principal Flores.
thank you. And a big old shout out to the central staff who's here today. Muchas gracias.
Is there a report of action taken in closed session?
No report this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. We're looking at changes to the agenda. Are there any? No? Okay, then may I hear a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Second?
I second the motion.
Okay, we'll call for the vote.
Ellsworth,
Yes.
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aguino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
We have communications to the Board of Trustees. Up next, from various groups, we have educational leadership up first. Thank you. Capital projects. Thank you. South Bay PTA Council. Seeing none. South Bay Union School District's Education Foundation. I see none. California School Employees Association, Chapter 59, better known as CSEA. Seeing none. Southwest Teachers Association, SWATA. No report I see, and District Superintendent.
And I have no report tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any public comments?
I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it tonight.
That's okay, that was fast.
Brenda Gonzalez,
Excuse me, before we start, how many are there?
3.
3, thank you. Please remember that you have 3 minutes, okay?
Is ready?
Okay.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Brenda González y vengo aquí como un padre preocupado de la escuela Emory de 6º grado. Brenda González. Oh, tú sabes.
Buenas tardes. Oh. Sorry. Good evening. My name is Brenda Gonzalez and I'm here because I'm very concerned. Say anything.
Can you just say at the end? I want to say in Spanish and I'll try to say in English too, because it's going to take my time. So
Vengo aquí como un padre preocupado por mi hija de 6º año. Hice una queja formal este año. La queja se resolvió. Yo no estoy de acuerdo. Es un proceso que que hice con un formal complaint procedure, pero yo vengo aquí para que ustedes me escuchen. Todo lo que el distrito quiere lograr para que un niño tenga la salud mental y esté en buenas condiciones en un salón de clases, solo se logra con que ustedes pongan un buen elemento en el aula. La escuela Emory, tengo mi hija en 6º grado. Este año la maestra Valdilla fue su primera maestra por un mes. Esta maestra se ha dedicado a darle mala reputación a mi hija, a una niña de 11 años. Mi hija no tenía amigos, solo una niña. A esa niña, esa maestra, que ni siquiera estaba en su salón de clases, les dijo a sus alumnos que no fueran amigos de mi hija. Que era mi hija, she was a bad friend, she was someone not to trust her, and she was, era alguien que no se podía confiar. Ustedes, you are teachers, you are board members, but still you are parents. I don't think you can let someone be in the classroom like that. She doesn't have ethics. She's not professional person. So I'm a member to the LCAP. I'm a member of LCAP, and I have read everything you want to do to the students. So if you don't have a good teacher in the classroom, nothing's gonna work. And one more thing, she used to have penalty sentence to the kids for going to the bathroom, or even as someone doesn't do the homework, she used to make penalty sentences. They told me that the district told me they quit that and that changed. As today, I come here on Monday, one of the girls from 6th grade of her class was doing penalty sentences. And my daughter asked her, let's go to the table. And the little girl said, I cannot use the table. I have to do it in the floor. I don't have 20 parents here because those kids don't tell the parents. So you can see the psychological abuse they do to the kids. If a kid listen that, they don't want to tell the parents because maybe that teacher is gonna tell the parents, is gonna tell the kids, don't be friend to that kid in 6th grade when they need more support. So I hope you do that for those kids in the Emory school because the teacher is Miss Valdivia. Thank you.
And I'm just here because she was afraid to come because she does not want her child retaliated against. She didn't want to mention the teacher. She said she had already made a complaint. Superintendent Espinosa told her that there was no point coming to the board. I told her this is a public forum. If you have something you feel like is not being addressed, and she's fearful for her child. I told her I would stand here in solidarity with her in the community to show that we're more than just one parent, 2 parents, 3 parents. This is a community. We should care about our community, and we shouldn't tell people not to come here into a public forum to share what they feel. You feel her passion. She is afraid for her child that she will get retaliation, and you already know that teachers do retaliate, principals do retaliate, that this could go on and on and on. And some children are afraid to tell their parents when they go home at night because they don't want to make a big deal. Mom and dad are tired. So she was bold enough and brave enough to come here to share this, and I hope that you take it seriously.
Thank you both.
Is this your phone?
Madam President, could we get a follow-up from the superintendent in regards to the public comment right now in our Friday update? Please.
PR Hines.
Back again. Very nice to see you all again. It was great to hear all the academic successes of the children today. It was amazing. When I was a young boy, I had some of the similar circumstances. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Got to meet the mayor, got to be in parades, honor bands, to go around and enjoy all the accolades of being successful as a student. Unfortunately, I'm here because my son is not eligible for those things because he's not part of your district anymore. As per some of the agreements that were entered into, the malfeasance seems to just gain momentum. The unethical behavior, sharing of personal and private information of a minor, the accounting that is let's just say, probably ninth grade level that doesn't allow us to see how much money we have left. We've spoken to CPAs in the area that have told us numerous times, basically what they're doing is trying to separate you from as much money as humanly possible. It is disgusting. Mr. Cochran has been a part of this for years. Joel Ryan is now a part of this. It is amazing the unethical behavior that still transpires even after there is a settlement agreement in place. The breach of contracts continue unendingly by Mr. Ryan. The pushback, the rude behavior by not just Mr. Ryan, but other members of his staff. They send people to our house. They send things to our house with their names on it. This is unacceptable. I just want to make sure that you've known for quite a while now and did nothing, never responded, never had the professionalism to actually stand up and make a stance. Nothing. It's disgusting. If you think that we're just going to sit idly by, you really, I mean, I don't know where else to go with this. It's not a matter of if we find someone, it's a matter of when. We're not sitting idly by any longer. We have put this before you. We've sent you emails, you're CC'd on so many different things, and there's no response. These other kids, it's great. I love it. I applaud that. But what happened to the one child left behind, right? That was the No Child Left Behind from how many years ago? Yet here we are. It's not just our child, it's numerous others, and that you're going to separate them from integration. You want to put them in one campus. As to segregate special needs, is that what we're hearing? We're here for a few different reasons, but the main one is our son. And the secondary reason is other children that we don't want to have fall into that category. I may have exceeded my 3 minutes, but thank you for at least listening. And hopefully this time you'll respond to us. Please.
Thank you. Danielle Ward Hines.
Hello. I won't go into a long, lengthy thing of saying, I'm glad to see you again. I really don't want to come here. This is actually my date night and it's my birthday week. So this is not how I want to spend my evening, but I refuse to sit idly by and just accept that this is business as usual here in South Bay Union School District. As I mentioned last time, I have a second child. He is eligible to go to the school district. Unfortunately, he's terrified of going to any of your schools. That should be concerning to all educators, parents, caregivers. I don't care who you are. The children are afraid to go to your schools because of what's happened to their older sibling. And this isn't the first story like this I've heard. So I brought a few examples for you to look at so that you know we're not making this up. We're not crazy. You can read emails. You can, I don't know if you've read them all. I don't really care at this point because you didn't respond. So just so you can see that this is actually real. Right there. And then you can pass that around and you can see that that is not someone who lives in my home. Liliana Hernandez works for your district. Why is her name on a package coming to my home from my son, who's a minor? Why isn't my name on the package? And then you can see here on this package, showing that sometimes you do things the right way and sometimes you don't. And the people that are actually in charge of this specifically are Joel Ryan and Bruce Cochran. Those two people are responsible for this strange, odd thing. This is an example of the Birch Aquarium, which I'm sure you do a lot of business with. I've read every purchase register, check register you've had for the last 3 years, just so I can see where the money's going. It is for Rush Hines, that he maybe is the person that said he was an adult on the internet and got a membership to the Birch Aquarium. Doesn't that sound wonderful? The next thing shows you Birch Aquarium's information that shows that He is not an adult, but it says right there to put an adult's name in. The district was notified about this 10 weeks ago. They did not contact Birch Aquarium. They did not contact Living Coast Discovery Center, and they did not contact Quail Botanical Gardens. They are fine with your children's information being out there in the public as if they're adults, as if they are allowed to do that. Yet your own books that you give to your parents when they come into the district say that you're afraid of cyberbullying, that you're afraid for your children's information to be on the internet, and that you care about that because you don't want children to be harmed. What about my kids? You don't care about my kids because guess what? His information right now is out there and it has not been corrected. I've dealt with all 3 agencies on my own, corrected it on my own. They've made 3 unique passes that they've never done before so that my son's information is no longer out there. I hope that you look into all these matters. I hope that you see that this is real. This isn't us just barking at you and saying, we want to do this, we want to do that. We're problematic parents. We care about our children. We care about the children of this community. If they expose my 2 kids, that means thousands of kids are now exposed. This district is now a target for predators. Do you understand? And Bruce Cochran put his name on passes for my child. Joel Ryan put his name on a pass for my child. When I have to go to the flower fields with my child, on the pass, it says Joel Ryan, not Rush Hines, not Danielle Ward Hines. Please correct this immediately to protect this community, not just my kids. Thank you.
Thank you. We are moving on to discussion items. Let's see, the first one is the 2021-2024. Amazing. LCAP update. I would like to recognize Assistant Superintendent Pamela Reichert Montiel.
Great. Good evening, President Ellsworth, Superintendent Espinosa, trustees, community colleagues. This evening, our LCAP update will focus on educational partner input, particularly around goals 1 through 3. You're familiar with our goals. LCAP Goal 1, ensuring academic excellence. LCAP Goal 2, advancing equity and inclusion. LCAP Goal 3, welcoming and safe learning environments. And as I shared with you in the past, we have our educational partners input, and in this case, we've had it throughout the year. We have had opportunities to do district-wide input sessions. So we have done our district-wide input sessions with DLAC, ELAC, with our LCAP advisory committees, school site councils. We have also done surveys, this particular survey, our educational partners input with our students, families, and staffs regarding the California Healthy Kids. I know that we shared in the past, we also did an LCAP survey that was sent to all families via email. We also have the opportunities for public comment and feedback via the website, and we will have our public hearing in the first week of June. I can't believe we're already almost there. The first week of June, and we've also had district huddles with all staff. So the LCAP input is the opportunity for all educational partners to give us input on our current goals and current action steps. Just a reminder, we are in year 3 of our LCAP. So I'm sorry, we're in year 2 going into year 3. So this is all preparation for year 3. So we don't make huge changes to the LCAP. It's really the same goals. We don't change the goals. We have predominantly the same action steps, but we take that input to guide our work And so, for example, if a goal is around professional development, maybe the professional development that we've been providing is not meeting the needs of our teachers at this time. So they have that opportunity to share that with us. I'm going to go ahead and have Amy click on the LCAP input. Now, this is a summary. These are the items that sort of jump to the top. They are not an inclusive list, so please note that. But it is under, Amy's going to make it a little larger, otherwise I will not be able to speak to it. And so on the first one, we shared what goal 1 was around ensuring academic excellence, and then we asked for input on current successes and current challenges. So you can see there some of the current successes and current challenges. And then if I'll read a few, like current successes, intervention resources. They talked about one-on-one digital devices. So again, these are ones that reoccurred. We saw multiple times. A success, the work that TOSAs are doing, and they would spell out that work. Now, some of the current challenges, and oftentimes it might mirror, it might be, here's the success, but then a challenge might be adequate staffing in all departments or limited TOSA availability due to scheduling conflicts. That we have learning and acceleration tutors, but maybe we need more learning and acceleration teachers. So if we want to scroll down to goal 2, that's advancing equity and inclusion. So here, again, you can see current successes, equity, the social emotional learning, our culturally relevant materials. And then on the current challenges, for some examples would be student behaviors. Maybe some student behaviors have been challenging, or learning loss during the pandemic. We want to scroll down to goal 3. Some current successes, safe and inviting campuses, definitely a lot about our after-school clubs and programs, our district social worker and the work that they're doing collectively as social workers. And then some current challenges, we might want more social workers. And so again, they can be successes, but they can also be challenges because they might feel that there's a need for more, or you can see facility upgrades. If you scroll down, then we ask the question, we are entering into year 3 of our plan. In what ways can we better implement our plan? And if there were specific action steps. So of course, under action step 1.1, it was really about staffing and came up with addressing the sub shortage. Also more trained professionals in classrooms to deal with tier 2 interventions. And when I say tier 2 interventions, the more small group instruction. The equity committee to partner with educational partners and community to tap into resources. So again, those were the suggestions. And then lastly, we did ask for some input on the professional development. And Amy, if you can wait for just a second, I do want to see the paragraph above. Sorry. Okay. So what we wanted to say is that we do receive funds that are specifically earmarked for professional development. So they must be used for professional development and the development of effective teaching practices. So it has been challenging to provide professional development for a variety of reasons, such as scheduling, substitute availability, even sometimes with the actual let's say people that are doing professional development, it might be from the county or from an outside entity. And so we said, please share any suggestions below on how we can provide effective professional development, coaching, like job meetings or collaboration, academics, and more to meet your needs. So then we can take a look at what they shared is a need for maybe supervision assistants to receive training for situations they may encounter. So we'll scroll down a little bit further on that table. Inclusive practices PD, even as far as homelessness or our housing insecure families, how to better support students suffering from homelessness. Field trips. So that was a topic of wanting to have more field trips, and even some teacher and admin PD. We used to have summer or spring learning academies that were a week long. And so a desire to bring some of those back. So again, this is just a snapshot, a glimpse of some of the items that surfaced in the survey. In addition to this, we had the opportunity to send out our California Healthy Kids surveys out to our families, students, and parents. And so at this point, I would like to invite Director Chavez to the podium to share our California Healthy Kids survey results.
Good evening. Thank you. So good evening. The following are the results from the California Healthy Kids Survey that school sites administered during the months of February and March. For the student survey, for students 3rd through 6th grade, parents have to opt in, meaning that they had to give permission for their child to complete the survey. For 7th and 8th grade, parents had to opt out and inform the school site if they did not want to have their child participate. Parent permission slips and letters informing families of the California Healthy Kids surveys were sent out via paper copies and electronically as well. What you see here are different topics under the school engagement and supports. I've included the percentages for each topic area from last school year, 2022, and the percentages for 2023 for this school year. The percentages were averages of student surveys that responded to questions in each of the topic areas with yes most of the time or yes all of the time. Just to give you an idea of how many student surveys were completed last school year was 694 responses, and there was a tremendous increase with this school year having 1,136 responses for our 3rd through 6th grade students. And this is amazing to have an abundant amount of students and their responses because we want to be able to hear their voices. And this is one opportunity that students have to share their responses in terms of school connectedness. You see academic motivation. Now, in these both areas, we noticed that there was a decline by 1% from school connectedness. In academic motivation, there was also a 1% decline from last school year. In the section of school boredom, we have an increase of 7% here. And just to give you some idea of some of the type of questions that are asked for each category or topic. For school connectiveness, do you feel close to people at and from this school? Are you happy to be at or with people at this school? Do you feel like you're a part of this school? In terms of caring adults in school, we see that the percentage remained the same from 71 to 71% this school year. Some of those questions in that topic included, do the teachers and other grown-ups at school care about you, listen when you have something to say, make an effort to get to know you? Do they tell you when you do a good job? Do they believe that you can do a good job? Do they want you to do your best? And these are questions not only in the caring adults in school section, but also in the high expectations that adults have for students in school. We do see a decline here from 87 to 84%. In the meaningful participation, we see a decline as well from 47 to 44% of students believe in most or all of the time that students are feeling they have the meaningful participation in academics. And this can include seeing themselves in what they are learning about, being able to participate and share their ideas around what they are learning about. Facilities upkeep, there was a decline, 71% to 69%. Parent involvement in schooling was a decrease from 78 to 76%. In terms of social and emotional learning supports, we have a decrease from 80 to 77%. And in anti-bullying climate was also a decline as well. Some of the questions in the social and emotional learning supports and anti-bullying climate include, Does your school help students resolve conflicts with one another? Do they teach students to understand how other students think and feel? Do we teach students to feel responsible for how they act? Do students care about each other and treat each other with respect? Now, looking at these percentages and noticing that there is a decline, there was an increase of student surveys for this school year, but we do notice that there is a decline in the responses of how students are feeling in terms of engagement and supports in our schools. Now, this is why it's really important that we don't only fixate on the quantitative numbers that we have here, but it is crucial information that we use when we are embarking on student empathy interviews, those one-on-one conversations with students, because this gives us a number, but when we are talking to students in fishbowls, where students are explaining their experiences in the classroom, is where we're gaining some additional information and insight. Our principals, our teachers are doing an amazing job in being able to provide engaging learning environments for students, but it's also important that we get the perspective of the student, because the student has their insights and their ideas of what a classroom environment should be and look like and feel like. So it's always important to give them that student voice and that agency, empowering them in their own learning. So even though we see that the student responses from last year to this year has declined in some areas, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to continue the work that we have started this year, focusing on the equity walks, focusing on fishbowls and student empathy interviews, and not only including our certificated staff along this journey, but also classified staff as well, families to be a part of this, students from all different grade levels, and then having our administrators continue this work that they've started to implement this school year. Here are the same topics for 7th to 8th grade. And there was a slight decrease due to the number of students in 7th to 8th grade. Last year, we had 446 responses. This year, we have 429 responses. Now, if we notice here, there was an increase in school connectedness from last year to this year. There was a 1% increase. We see that academic motivation has dropped by 1%. And also there's a reduction where last year they felt 52% that school is really boring. And this year there was a decrease, significant decrease to 43%. School is worthless and a waste of time. There was a decrease from 18 to 14%. And if you notice, the language is also very middle school like in the questions that are being asked are a little bit kid language. So there was a decrease, which is great. In last year, they thought 18%, and this year it did decrease to 14%. We do have the monthly absences 3 or more from 17 to 19% increase. Maintaining their focus on schoolwork remained the same. There was a decrease in caring adult relationships by 1%. We have high expectations about our adults in school. There was a 2% decline there, and meaningful participation did increase as well. Just as important that it is that we continue implementing and having those conversations through different measures of street data with our primary grade students, our upper grade students, it's equally important that we hear from our 7th through 8th grade students from their voices, not simply from a survey. The survey is one method of being able to collect data, the quantitative piece. We see numbers, but it is equally and sometimes even more important to humanize the experience, where we have conversations face to face with students. We collect all of that data that our students are sharing with us, and then we meet as a team to be able to analyze and see any patterns or trends, or any next steps in terms of actions that we can implement in our schools to be able to provide a more positive, meaningful environment for our students in their classrooms. These are some additional topics for the 7th and 8th graders. There was an increase in the facilities upkeep. And this is, do you see that your campus is clean? Do you see that there are the supplies that you need in your surrounding areas? We have remained the same, 51% for promotion of parental involvement in school. There was a 1% increase in school being perceived as very safe or safe. And there was a decline in experienced any harassment or bullying from 41% to 36% this school year. Now here we have staff surveys. When we are looking at staff surveys, last year we administered 281 responses, and we always invite our classified staff to participate as well. So this does not only include our certificated staff, but our classified staff as well. Last year, 281 responses. This year, we had 411 responses. Now, and these are the similar topics for school supports for students around the areas of caring adult relationships, the high expectations that adults feel they have for students in school, their meaningful participation, and we noticed that there was already an increase in all three of the first areas. For promotion of parental involvement, there was also an increase, and also in student learning environment as well. For facilities upkeep, we see that there was an increase from 28 to 32%. In the area of support for social emotional learning, we see that there was a 1% increase. Being able to provide adequate counseling and support services, there was a significant increase there as well. And that is also attributed to the counseling and social workers that are supporting our school sites and our students as well. In terms of the anti-bullying climate, there was an increase from 36 to 39%. And this is also can be attributed to the behavior discipline plan that was implemented, ensuring that we have PBIS at all of our schools, creating that consistency among everyone, and also developing the Google survey form that's available online for any individual, whether it's a student, a staff, a family member, to go on the website and be able to include information for our schools to be able to investigate any allegations of bullying. For our parent surveys, last school year, we had 972 responses, and this school year we have 1,296 responses. Part of the California Healthy Kids Survey is that the families are able to pick their language, and there is a plethora of languages that are available, not only English and Spanish, but there is an abundant amount of languages available for the families to complete the survey. We see that there was an increase in the student learning environment. School is a safe place for their child. School motivates students to learn was an increase in all three of those areas. School has adults who really care about their students. Their opportunities for meaningful student participation remain the same, but there was an increase in having adults care about their students. Communication with parents about school, there was a 1% decline. And I know that we as a leadership team have been having this conversation continuously about ensuring that the communication that is being sent to our families is not only in English, but in Spanish as well. And then if there are any other languages that are available, that there are supports at the school site to be able to still provide that information. One of the resources that I know many of our admin use, it's called SMORE, to distribute newsletter information to our families. And the feature that SMORE has is that the family is able to select their language, and it translates the information on there to the language that they are familiar with. For teachers responsive to child social and emotional needs, we have a decrease of 1% and a 3% increase of parents, school providing parents with advice and resources to support their child's social and emotional needs. And also in terms of harassment or bullying of students, we see a 1% decrease as well.
As you can see, we have a lot of data to go through, and really our purpose this evening was to bring forward the input that we've received from our educational partners as we're going through the process of revising our LCAP for the final year, year 3. And so I want to acknowledge the entire team for their support. I've had all of educational leadership working on this project. So a special thank you to Susie for getting me a lot of the data that we needed for the LCAP. And again, will come forward in the public hearing in June with a draft of the LCAP. We have an upcoming meeting with fiscal services. And thank you to Joel actually and his team for completing the entire fiscal sections, all of the money sections with the expenditures, but we will bring a draft forward to you the first board meeting in June. We will be receiving feedback later this month from the County Office of Education. It was submitted today actually to them, and then back at the end of June for final approval. So just bringing you the plan or the LCAP in chunks so it's not so overwhelming in June. So at this point, if you have any questions.
I do. You may have said, but I somehow missed it. Way back at the health, during the survey, of course, the student survey for 3rd through 6th, I noticed that the school boredom line went up. I'm just curious as what the question sounded like.
For which one?
The school boredom.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed it.
Do you finish all of your school assignments? When you get a bad grade, do you try even harder the next time? Do you keep working and working on your schoolwork until you get it right?
Thank you. Because I noticed over in the 7th and 8th grade, it went down. They're happy. It's different. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
really, I want to acknowledge the schools and the school teams, teachers, the staff, the principals for getting as many students and parents to complete the survey. I know we want to see all of our educational partners to take the survey, to complete the survey. But I'm happy to see that our numbers are getting better. But again, remembering that it's really that opt out or opt in. And so our parents do have the option to not have their children participate in those elementary years.
And I wanted to also note that the harassment and bullying section is, getting much better. Thank you. To all the principals out there too. That's it. Trustee?
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you so much. You bring so much information to the board. I just want to applaud you and your team, Pamela, and the team that supports. Thank you, Superintendent. As we gear up for June, I know what's coming. I just want to acknowledge the work behind it and all the departments that contribute to that work and for the outcomes, what's best for kids and staff and our facilities. And I'm really impressed with the numbers of our surveys this year. And I'm really impressed that it has many languages for parents to choose from, because I asked that question probably about 6 months ago or something. So I'm really impressed with that. This would also include special services. Everyone. So it doesn't tell you if a child has special services or not. It's just generic. It's just generic question. Okay. So, and I go home and I say, what'd you learn today, Lexi? Okay, nothing. Okay. So you had to have learned something, right? Just tell me one thing. Okay. This goes in line with that boredom thing. Okay. And of course, she's in 11th grade now. But in 7th and 8th grade, she had something to say. So it's reflected on your survey here, where 7th and 8th graders are thinking a little bit more critically than our 3rd through 6th. See, so that's awesome to see, because they needed that transition to high school, where they need to come from a place of strength in their words when they go to high school. So this shows me a lot, and I appreciate again the survey numbers. How we don't have to, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but I would like staff, superintendent, I would like all staff to take this survey. I mean, I can't say that loud enough. Okay, your work environment is important. And if staff is not, over 1,000 people work for us. We're the largest employer in the city of Imperial Beach and in the 3 zip codes that we serve. So everybody should be responding to this, not just a handful of people. And I hope next year our numbers are even stronger. And again, I'll just wrap it up by saying thank you to all. Thank you. Thank you.
And with that question in mind, I noticed that almost double, well, 1.5 times again, the staff members responded to a lot more this year too. Yeah. Yeah, it's half, yeah. Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Kurt Montiel, and don't get comfortable. And Director Susie Chavez. I'd like to introduce Director Susie Chavez again, who will be speaking to us, giving us a presentation on Proposition 28, the Art and Music K-12 Education Funding Initiative.
So Proposition 28 is focused on the arts and music education programs. And this is Guarantee and Accountability Act, which was approved by the California voters on November 8th, 2022. What is encompassed in arts education program includes the instruction, training, supplies, materials, arts educational partnership programs that can include all of the areas that you see mentioned here. It's not only art or music, it can include animation, theater, folk art, painting, photography, video, script writing. So there is an abundant and plethora different choices that would still fall under the arts education program. So what can the funds be used for? So the legislation has indicated that at least 80% of the funds should be used to employ certificated or classified employees to provide arts education instruction, and that 20% should be used for training supplies, curriculum, professional learning, the materials, and arts educational partnership programs. This is also meant to be used as a supplement, not supplant. Now, who decides what arts and music program to develop and focus on at each school site? So Proposition 28 legislation, it requires and states that the principal or program director will then expand a site's arts instruction or programs. Now the funding, this is from our fiscal department. To help the district, LEA, plan for their share of the Proposition 28 funding for next school year, we're providing the preliminary estimates of what each district or each school will receive broken down by school site. The fiscal department has determined, based on the requirement from Proposition 28, that the estimates show that each LEA will receive $113.45 per student based on the enrollment metric and $84.50 per student based on the low income metric. There is the possibility of these amounts fluctuating as more current information does become available. These are just some of the numbers so that you can see for enrollment and who is considered low income. We have the enrollment funding amount, also the low income funding per student. And you can see the totals on the last column on the right of how much each school will be receiving. There's a total of $982,114 that would be provided to our district. So just as fiscal department has mentioned, and as we've learned at our most recent meeting with the San Diego County Office of Education, it does not mean that we will receive the $982,114. Fingers are crossed. But there might be some fluctuation in the amounts. Now, can schools collaborate and pool funds together? Absolutely. If you noticed here, some of the schools have a less amount of funding available to their school site. So the legislation has allowed for school sites to be able to pool their funds together. Now, when will the funding become available? We were informed that the first allocation and apportionment of the arts and music program will occur later in the 23-24 fiscal year. And each school site will need to develop a plan using the template from the California Department of Education, which they will be providing to us. At our meeting that we attended last week, the California Department of Education is currently developing that template. But we have started asking our principals to start thinking of how they're going to be using those funds. We've also included it as part of our school plans, even though that's not the official template. We know how important arts and music, building and expanding on those music programs are. So we want to make sure that our principals start developing and thinking about the use of those funds once we've received them. Amy, can you click on the link, please? Now, these are just draft plans, initial thinking based on the allotted amount that will be sent to our schools. So we notice here we have music for a couple of the schools. We have Emory is going to be partnering up with Berry. Central will be partnering up with Bayside. We have Imperial Beach Charter hiring a full-time music/theater teacher. Mendoza, dance, theater, and visual art specialist. We also see Nikoloff has 3 draft plans there in place as well, focused on music theater or music dance. And if you can scroll down, thank you. Oneonta, planning on hiring 2 impact teachers focused on music. Pence is going to be partnering up with Sunny Slope, focused on theater arts. And again, these are just draft plans, but we wanted our administrators to start thinking about how to develop what they currently have at their school sites. Now, the reporting requirements that each school is required to submit every year, annual board approved report to be posted on the school's districts and the Department of Education websites. And this report needs to include the type of arts program that's being funded by the program, the number of full-time equivalent teachers, if they have hired classified personnel, the number, teaching aides, it would be a number as well that would need to be included in the report, the number of pupils that are being served through this program, and then the number of school sites providing the programs with the funds as well. That is all. Any questions?
I see that the schools will be putting their funds together, but how would that work? How would they be splitting combining the funds?
So depending on, I know that our fiscal department worked and provided some estimates of how much it would include to be able to hire like a full-time teacher or an instructional assistant or an impact teacher in order to give principals like an estimate of the total funding. And then based on the allotted amount that was provided to each school site, then principals started to collaborate together and decide who would be who they can partner up to be able to fund their plans for this. Then what the legislation is also requiring is that if two school sites, for example, are partnering up, then it would have to be an equal amount of time at both school sites. So for example, if two schools are partnering up together and they have one individual, then that one individual would have to be like 2 days at one school, 2 days at another school, and they can like alternate Wednesdays, or they can do half day at one school, half day at the other school. But the legislation was very specific in that it would have to be an equal amount, and that the funding would also have to be an equal amount that's being divided, not one school. For example, if the cost is $100,000, that it would be $50,000 from one school and then $50,000. So it would have to be an equal amount. And then that if it's equal, then it would have to be equal amount of time at both school sites, as opposed to the individual teacher being at one school site 3 days a week, as opposed to another school site being less or more. And then also, some principals have also started to work on seeing what that would look like, being able to provide equal opportunity for all students, not only primary grades, but all students in the school, providing them an equal amount of time as well for if the school is being divided with both. So that's very key in the legislation, is that it's equal amount for funding, equal amount of time for both school sites, equal amount for all students to participate in.
It looks like this is going to go a long way to address the school boredom issue.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you so much for the presentation this evening. Thank you to the state of California for recognizing the need for arts and music in the state of California in our public schools. Added funding will help our children develop many things that you've listed here. I'm just amazed. And our kids are doing it. So now we have funds that would support that work. I'm really excited. And I'm really excited for the word enrollment versus ADA, because if we have 360 kids at Central, we should have money for 360 kids all year long.
Yes.
Even if they're absent 1 or 2 days, that funding is secure for you. So that's an improvement in the state of California. And I think this is a first. And so we want to advocate for best practices upstairs. So that's one. Okay. And I'm really pleased about adding staff as opposed to putting this work on others. You noticed that there's full-time certificated, but in terms of full-time 6 hours, classified, they're a very talented group of people.
Absolutely.
And so would budgeting around that also include perhaps maybe some health insurance for a 6-hour support, classified support? I mean, would that be worked into your budget?
I will defer to Melissa in terms of employment fringe and benefits, or Pamela.
Let me just clarify a couple of things. I think it's very important for us to remember that we're supplementing our existing arts program, and we cannot supplant. So it's above and beyond what we're already offering. Many of the ideas that you saw in the plans have not come full circle. So we may not even have the job descriptions for the people that we're hoping to have. So that's where we would be working directly with the Human Resources Department. And it can be full-time teachers, it can be classified full-time, it can be 6 hours, it can be 3 hours. It just depends on the need and the funding. But what we'll have to do is work with our HR department because currently we don't have a lot of these job descriptions. And what we don't want to do is use our VAPA STEM job description because this is supposed to supplement that. And we want to make sure that we keep those very separate. If this goes away, this is that icing on the cake above and beyond.
Well, I don't think it's going away. Okay, so, we're in the planning stages. I understand that. And I just would like the view that you don't have to be certificated in order to fill these needs. And there are a lot of talented people that have this work. And so I look forward to you coming back and hopefully it'll align with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susie. This was a good report. Both of them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, look who's up next. I'd like to recognize Director Susie Chavez. Regarding the
busy tonight.
adoption, regarding the adoption of instructional materials.
So Ms. Lisa Celaya apologizes for not being here tonight. She had a prior engagement that she had already committed to. So I'm going to be speaking on her behalf because this is the work that she embarked on with our middle school teachers at Nestor Language Academy. So she's created a timeline for us here. So on August 31st, 2022, Lisa attended the Multilingual Education and Global Achievement Meeting from the San Diego County Office of Education. The Eva Pando, the coordinator, presented to the group the World Languages Framework and Standards that were adopted in July 2020, but the materials list didn't come out until 2021. In September, Ms. Lisa contracted multiple publishers. And in October, she met with one of the publishers, and then she met with actually two publishers in October. She synthesized this information and provided it to the two Nestor Middle School Spanish teachers. Lisa met with Alvaro Alvarez and Delia Uribe on Friday, October 14th. She showed both teachers the two programs and to plan for next steps. They both decided that they wanted to pilot both programs. They wanted to wait for the new year to start piloting. So in January, Lisa then met with Alvaro and Delia from Nestor to deliver the materials for start piloting. One was Carnegie Learning and the other was Vista Higher Learning. She then met with Alvaro and Delia in February to check on the progress, and they were continuing to pilot both materials. On April 7th, Lisa received an email from Delia Uribe stating that both her and Alvaro decided they wanted Carnegie Learning in Voz Alta to be the instructional resource for Spanish instruction. Then Lisa contacted the rep from Carnegie Learning and asked for a quote, and it's based on an 8-year contract. And April 18th, Lisa took this information to our consultation committee with our labor relations partners. And on April 25th is when Ms. Lisa wrote the approval for the school board to adopt Carnegie Learning in Voz Alta for Hispanohablantes, level 1 and level 2.
Knowing the teachers over there at Nestor in the 7th and 8th grade, I'm sure they have a very rigorous program. So I'm sure this is a good choice since they chose it.
Yes.
Madam President, I move to approve the adoption of the World Languages Spanish instructional materials for middle school for implementation in the 23-24 school year.
Thank you. Second? Second. Thank you. Any other comments or discussion?
Their curriculum is beautiful. I saw the books the other day and it's just like, even the logo, the little robin on there, it's just like I wanted to pet it. I mean, it was so calming. Okay, I don't know if other board members saw it, but I did. And thank you for your work. Thank you, Superintendent, for the work around our 7th and 8th grade unit there at Nestor. It's a long time coming. And like I said, the curriculum, it looks beautiful, even though I don't read Spanish, I can still touch that robin and feel the inspiration. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Ms. Lisa, to Alvaro and Delia Uribe, who
Yeah.
did this work on this.
Yeah, that's.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say, I love hearing that the teachers were the first ones to get their hands on these materials and have the input on the adoptions. And I hope that we continue to follow in that style as we look at new curriculum for all of our schools.
Yep, most definitely.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I would like to call for the vote.
Ellsworth,
Yes, please.
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aguino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. No more
Thank you.
reports from me. I'm good. That's okay. 3 is good. Thank you.
Next up, excuse me, is the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee appointment. Assistant Superintendent Rigo Lara.
Good evening, President Ellsworth, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Espinosa, staff, and community. Proposition 39 requires school districts that pass bonds to establish and appoint members to an independent citizens oversight committee to support a successful, transparent, and accountable bond program. Currently, we have 2 open seats. We community member representative and a tax organization representative. I just mentioned we have 2 vacancies currently. Brianna Bolesky, who is a current CPA, has submitted an application. The application has been reviewed by our Superintendent Espinosa. She holds an accounting degree from the University of San Diego. Has shown interest in joining the committee. If you recall, last year, we adopted a resolution to issue the remaining funds with Measure X, $11.4 million. Those funds will we'll start using those funds next year. The committee will be overseeing those funds and how we're using them and making sure that we're using them correctly. So that's really it. Short presentation, just letting you know that there is someone who has turned in an application. Again, it's been reviewed. We are happy to answer any questions that I may before I ask that you accept the appointment. Approve the appointment, I'm sorry.
Madam President, I move to approve the appointment of Brianna. I'm gonna butcher this name, Baskey?
Bolesky?
Benesky?
Bolesky is.
Thank you.
I will pronounce it.
I'll take it. To the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee.
Second. Any questions? Okay, and how very nice that, is Brianna here?
No, we did. She's out of town. We didn't
Oh,
ask her
oh,
if she could make
I'm
it.
sorry if I missed that. It's a good thing. It's an interesting committee. So I will call for the vote.
Ellsworth,
Yes.
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aguino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Assistant Superintendent Rigo Lara is here with the audit.
Good evening
That's
again,
all.
President Ellsworth, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Espinosa, staff and community. A district must conduct an annual independent performance and financial audit to ensure that funds have been expended appropriately. If you recall, this audit is for the fiscal year 21-22. If you recall, that's when Emory modernization was happening. So the funds that were spent during that year. Again, required by Proposition 39, which I had just mentioned, so accountability provisions, one being the Independent Oversight Committee, but also the yearly independent audit. Proposition X, Y, and Proposition NN, they're all Proposition 39 bonds. So the audit must determine two things: that funds were spent on projects approved by the voters, and that funds weren't spent on operating expenses such as teacher and administration salaries and other school operating expenses. The independent audit report was performed by Christy White, and getting to the point, it's great news. There were no financial statement findings for the year ended June 30th, 2022 regarding the financial statement findings. And the performance audit findings, there were no findings or recommendations related to local school construction bonds for the year ending June 30th, 2022. And there's just another note that there weren't any findings or recommendations during the year ending June 30th, 2021. So it is respectfully requested that the board accept the 2021-2022 annual independent performance audit.
For propositions X, measure Y, and proposition NN, all three bonds.
Yes.
May I hear a motion to accept the audit?
Yes, Madam President, I move to accept the 21-22 annual independent performance audit of Proposition X, Measure Y, and Proposition NN bonds.
Okay, may I hear a second?
I second.
Thank you very much. Any questions of Rigo? All righty, call for the vote, please.
Ellsworth,
Yes.
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aguino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Next, item is we will hear from Executive Director Melissa Griffith regarding sunshining of contract proposals from CSEA Chapter 59.
Good evening, President Ellsworth, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Espinosa. Tonight, I am here to talk about sunshining. As required by Government Code Section 3547, the district and CSEA present initial proposals at a public board meeting to enable the public to become informed and for the public to have an opportunity to express itself regarding the initial proposals. This is commonly referred to as the sunshining process. The initial proposals from the district and CSEA are attached as exhibits. Tonight, I'm respectfully requesting that the superintendent recommend presentation for the proposes of public notice, the contract proposals for CSEA Chapter 59.
There are no public comments.
Did I need to open a meeting? Okay, thank you. And that's all you need, correct? Okay, thank you. Oh. She's got three also. I'd like to re-recognize Executive Director Melissa Griffith regarding the appointment of Principal Bayside STEAM Academy.
Thank you. Good evening again. The following the retirement of Principal Kevin Court, the district began a recruitment process for a new site leader. Panel interviews were conducted on April 14th. The final candidates were interviewed by the executive team on April 19th. And tonight is respectfully requested that we recommend approval of the appointment of the principal at Bayside STEAM Academy, Kyle Griffith. I think we call for the vote.
We need a motion to approve the appointment.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second. Do you mind if I call for the vote? I do so.
Ellsworth,
Yes?
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aguino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to turn it over to Principal Griffith for a few words as we get ready to transition to the next presentation.
Good evening, President Ellsworth, Superintendent Espinosa, trustees,
executive team, colleagues. I'm truly honored to be selected as the next principal at Bayside STEAM Academy. I've thoroughly enjoyed serving our South Bay students for the past 2 years as assistant principal at both Emory and IB, and I'm excited to continue serving our students and community in this new role. As I prepare to transition, I look forward to building strong collaborative relationships with Bayside students, staff, and families. I've been privileged to serve as the assistant principal to two amazing leaders, Mr. Bevilacqua and Dr. Vargas. And I would like to thank them both for their support, encouragement, and mentoring over the past 2 years. I'd also like to thank my wife, Danielle, who's here, and our two daughters, Jillian and Addison, for their support and encouragement. And I thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to many great things at Bayside. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Lower this.
Executive Director Melissa Griffith
Mr.
regarding the,
Griffith is much taller than Miss Griffith.
oh, I'm sorry.
So,
Regarding the appointment of Director of VIP Village Preschool.
thank you. Following the retirement of Director David Shepard, the district began recruitment for a new site leader. Panel interviews were conducted on April 14th. The final candidates were interviewed by the executive team on April 19th. It is respectfully requested to recommend approval of the appointment of the Director of VIP Village Preschool, Michelle Syverson.
Ah. There she is.
I'd like to invite Michelle up while we call for the vote.
May I hear a motion to approve the appointment?
I motion to approve. the
All
appointment.
right, in a second.
Second?
I will definitely call for the vote. I'm
Ellsworth-
sorry.
Ellsworth,
Yes.
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aquino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to say to all of you, I appreciate and I am honored for the opportunity to be the VIP director. I will definitely miss my virtual academy team. However, I look forward to working with the families, the students, and the teachers at VIP. Good things to come. Thank you.
Yay. Welcome, both of you. Consent calendar is up next. May I hear a motion?
I move to approve all items on the consent calendar as listed, including superintendent's.
Yeah,
oh,
you read that thing.
including superintendent's recommendations for or denial or approval of leaves of absence.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Let's vote.
Ellsworth,
Yes.
Liker,
Yes.
Lopez Aquino,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Quinones.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
We are on to future agenda items. I'd like to recognize Superintendent Jose Espinosa.
Thank you. President Ellsworth, sorry, I was a little confused. And so at this time, we have one item from our previous meeting. And so I'd like to turn it over to Trustee Quinones to talk to us a little bit more about her request to report on a monthly basis regarding our attendance rates.
Thank you, Superintendent. I brought this to the board last month in hopes that you would support me this month in the monthly reporting of our highest ADA in this district. And this report doesn't take much staff time in that they collect that data every day. And so it would be minimal staff time that would be taken to do this work. And so if we could all support that and have the superintendent on our Thursday monthly meeting report out perhaps maybe in his superintendent report to us monthly. That'd be great because we're focused now not only on the student outcomes and achievements, but average daily attendance. Thank you.
So you're suggesting that the superintendent report to us when we have our one-on-one meetings? Or, I'm sorry, I was confused there.
Thursday meetings, Thursday night, we have a monthly meeting like tonight.
Oh, you mean the board meeting? Okay.
Not at, everything's a meeting, but our Thursday night meeting. Not at every meeting, because we could have like 4 or 5 in a month.
So, okay, now I understand. During his report
Superintendent
time,
report.
yeah, you
Yes.
suggested it happened there.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Is that to like highlight whoever has the best ADA?
Well, I think,
I like that.
well, in the past month, I can highlight a couple of things for you. In the past month, there are several schools that took the initiative about Everyday Counts, I Can program, Everyday Matters. They had different slogans at different schools, and they brought up their attendance in this 2-week period. And so I would like a monthly report on district level, not site specific. Because the principal usually comes up and tells us in a school report. So this would be district level. Well, we want, I'm sure the board agrees. Okay, that the optimal number that we would like to hear every month would be 95% at district level. So, in the effort to hear it, we have to know it. So we can follow along at the district level, and I hope that you would support me in that information.
Okay, I guess it's up to us to give him direction on this. So it would be to report out during his superintendent in, what's it called? Communication to the Board of Trustee time, when you have your time, that he give the number of the attendance report number at that time for the whole district, not individually, just the whole district. Okay. Yep.
And President Ellsworth, can I
Yes.
jump in real quick? Just to clarify this, in this particular item, when a board member requests a particular item, the board right now is discussing whether they support that, and then you and I will get together and talk about how to do that. So it could be a Friday letter, it could be a report during the session, which I think is a great idea, but just to clarify the process for a future item.
Yes.
Well, I agree with the superintendent's request to meet with the president. But I also hear a quorum allowed here that said yes to a monthly report of district daily attendance for the month, the highest number. That's the question on the floor. It's not to put another item on the agenda.
Right.
It's for asking for a report in the superintendent's time for agenda. And I hope the board would support that.
I just had a quick question for Superintendent. Would that take a lot of your time?
No, I think this is, as the board knows, we are really focused on improving attendance. Our target is to be above 95% as a district. And so we are putting systems in place to make sure that we are looking at what not only, improving our attendance, but, really asking the question, our students that are not here, why are they not here and how can we help? So being able to report that to the board, absolutely. I think it's a great idea. Doing it during the board meeting, I also agree with. I think that's a good idea. My only point of contention here is between the what and the how, right? And the what is, we want the attendance reported, and then the how is the superintendent will talk to the board president on the how. And so, again, I totally agree with it. I think it's a great idea. I would say right now that, we would be able to do that. No problem. I just want to make sure that as we're going through this item, we're following the correct process. That way, a future item doesn't get, muddy, doesn't get mixed up.
So I support trustee Quinones with that, and then we're gonna see the process, how it's gonna be put up.
That's how I understand it also. No, I just, do you support it?
I support it.
I
Trustee
do.
Quinones.
I have a question for clarification. So you mentioned the numbers, but then you said the highest numbers? Is it the highest school or the school with the highest,
No,
the best attendance?
district level. And so all the schools feed in their. All the schools feed their data to the district. And the number is pulled, okay, so we're at district level, it's gonna be all our 10, 11 schools that feed into this number. And so at the district level, it will say, we're at 87% at our highest for the month of May. Okay. And then we'll get a June report. We made improvement. We got 90. So that kind of thing.
Thank you. Yeah, I support that.
Thank you. Believe you have support? Oh, I know you support it.
So I appreciate the process, Superintendent. But I also appreciate the report. Thank you.
Next up is communication from the Board of Trustees. It says here 3-minute time limit too.
I'm sorry, Board President. I
I'm
think we
sorry.
skipped over future agenda items that the board can now ask
So
for
I
items.
did.
That's why you pay me the big bucks.
I appreciate it too. Future and I just read the follow-up, but I guess, way up there. Oh, there it is. Excuse me. Future agenda items. At this time, each trustee may suggest one topic for future board members. Board meetings, I'm sorry.
I would like to hear more about how when we move our special ed students from school to school, or I've heard rumors about that this is going to happen and that's going to happen, but maybe some clarification as to how or why movements would be made regarding the classification and numbers for ourselves and for the public to be aware of why we do what we do. Our district does what we do. Thank you.
Anybody else? And thank you for allowing me to go back. Communication from the Board of Trustees.
Last week I went to Mendoza for their music performance and it was absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that I was able to have my mom take my children to swim class so that I could make it there. I know that we are all very busy with our lives and I'm glad that I could be a representation of the board to be there. I was so impressed, especially because especially the 5th and 6th graders, some of them I've known since they were 1st grade and I worked with them since they were in 1st grade. And some of the students that shone the most, like just wowed me. I remember they were hard to get focused and wrangle in when they were little ones, but I know how much hard work they put in to be up there and get on stage, and having things like Prop 28 to bring music and the arts to our schools is going to help our enrollment, and it's going to give our students a sense of pride and to help them find their strengths through music and art. And I'm super excited for it. And I'm
glad that I got to see it firsthand.
I want to thank everyone for being here tonight and thank you for the presentation. And I'm also excited for Proposition 28 and looking forward how is it gonna be working for our students' well-being. Thank you and have a good night.
I tried to pass the baton, but he wouldn't take it. A very nice, well put together meeting, Madam President. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. And Superintendent and all those that are involved in presenting on our Thursday night meetings every month. It is a production. And I want to recognize the work that's behind this board agenda this evening. That all of you are appreciated and valued. I value you. The board values you. And we come here and we sit and we do the job, but this is a lot of work and you've already started our next agenda already. So know that I know that. And I want to show my appreciation tonight and thank you all for your professionalism, your dedication to our school district and staff and the collaboration with all the departments that are talking to each other and working towards a better tomorrow for our students and our community. So I want to thank you. I want the fourth be with you, all of you.
There you
The congratulations to our new VIP person, director, and our new principal at Bayside. Congratulations. I started working at Bayside in 1980. Well, I'm not dating myself, but it's true. And so you're going to love it there. And good luck to you. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's event with our Lunch Lady Heroes at Emory. And I always attend that and I missed when we couldn't do it, but now we can do it. So here I come. And I'm also looking forward to my day at Nikolov at the middle third week of May. So I'm coming Nikolov. So again, thank you very much, Madam President and Board of Trustees. Have a good night and be safe and we'll see you when we see you. Okay? Good night. Thank you.
And I will just say what she said. You guys are awesome, really. There's an awesome staff here, truly. Good night.
We do.